821, Big 550, KTRS. There's a new movie out getting a lot of attention. It's called Always Woodstock, and it's going to be out in theaters. And one of the actors is James Wolk. You know him from Mad Men and a couple of other great projects out there. James Wolk, welcome to the Big 550, KTRS here in St. Louis.
Hey, it's good to be here. Good morning.
You got it. We were just talking to a buddy of yours, Jay Ferguson.
Oh, what a guy.
He was just here in studio, and he wanted me to ask you about the short shorts on Mad Men. How short and how tight were they really?
Oh, Jay, you son of a gun. They were really short, man. I remember we did the fitting for that episode, and there was like 9 pair of shorts. It looked like a cartoon. There was like 9 shorts on hangers, and they got exponentially shorter, and I was like, oh. And we literally picked the shortest one for that episode.
All polyester?
Yeah, all polyester all the time.
Of course, yeah. James, tell us about Always Woodstock.
Always Woodstock is a film coming out this weekend, and a romantic comedy that I did with a great cast. It's Allison Miller and Katie Seagal, Rumor Willis, guy Jason Ritter, and it's a romantic comedy about a girl who is living in New York and kind of fed up with her life, and she's in the music industry, and she moves up to Woodstock, New York. She goes upstate and kind of falls in love and finds herself, and I play the doctor who lives in Woodstock, whom she falls in love with.
You play the swashbuckling doctor who comes in and swoops her up, right?
I literally have a sword. I mean, I'm really...
Well, of course you win her because you're wearing those polyester shorts from Mad Men, I hope.
Of course.
Yeah, I brought those to set. Unfortunately, they didn't let me wear them, but I wanted to.
We were talking to Jay about this in movies, and good character-driven movies are being made not necessarily in Hollywood anymore, but by these independent ones, and they're finding a life of their own outside of that Hollywood sort of machine.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so true. It's so true that it's a really exciting time to be in the industry in that regard, because where material's coming from blows your mind. Not only is there just fantastic stuff on television, but like you said, when you're looking for like a real thriller, like those movies that were great from the 70s, or those character-driven films, these guys are finding them. They're getting these small budgets. They're raising them, however, on crowdfunding and whatnot, and they're getting great directors, great writers, great actors, and if you get through the mix and you can get through the festivals and get some distribution, people see them and they're really interesting. They're really cool.
Yeah, your point about the good directors and the good actors, it's almost like the actors themselves do whatever you can to be in these independent movies, because that's where all the creativity is happening. Big time.
I just read yesterday that M. Night Shyamalan is doing his next film, and he did it outside of the studio system because he wanted to return to his kind of gritty, like Sixth Sense storytelling roots. And there's a great example of a fantastic director who works all the time, who stepped outside to really to make a really gritty film.
Yeah.
And this cast in this movie, I mean, there are a lot of great actors and actresses. You have Allison Miller, you, of course, Katie Seagal. I've not seen her in a movie in a while, and that's great. And Rumor Willis, she's a newcomer, Bruce and Demi's daughter.
Yeah, the cast is amazing. Katie Seagal and Allison Miller get the opportunity to play some beautiful music in this movie. There's a big music element in it, hence the Woodstock of it all. And Katie and Allison have this really lovely scene where Katie's character is teaching Allison, who's the newcomer to town, about music, and they're kind of going through some songs on the guitar. And yeah, there's some really great moments, and Katie's lovely as can be, and Allison too. And Rumor's great. She's really, really a nice gal, and she plays a really fun character in this film.
Jay Ferguson had no idea when Mad Men was coming back. Do you have any idea when it's coming back?
I have no idea, man. I literally have no idea. Jay and I get the same memos, I think.
How did you come to the show? Because you were a mid-run character coming in.
Yeah, I came in on the 6th season, so they had been up and running for a while, and I'd always been a fan of the show, and I knew they were adding a new character to the show that particular season, and I went in and read for Matthew Weiner, the creator, and he, I got approved, and I was thrilled, and I had no idea, as any of us do, like where this character was going, because you kind of learn script to script. And especially at that point, I was a total newcomer, new outsider, so it wasn't like they were sharing all this loads of information with me. So it was really a spooky, cool experience. I would find out week to week where this character was going. But I kind of got in the old-fashioned way, man. I just went in and read for the producer.
So you read, and then 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, a month later, your cell phone rings, and it's them saying, come on in?
The next day. Isn't that unbelievable?
Wow.
You really impressed them.
Well, it is unbelievable, because usually it doesn't happen that quickly. I found out the next day. It was a great feeling. It's just great to. It's humbling to be asked to become a part of that show with the incredible storytelling and actors they have on there, and Slattery and Ham and those guys, and how and Elizabeth and Christina. I mean, to join that cast is humbling.
Yeah.
It was great.
Your character is a bit strange, though, because I don't know. In the beginning, you were kind of like, I thought maybe you liked Christina Hendricks' character, and then I don't know.
She's asking
Who
you.
are you?
She's asking
Who
you.
is
She's
your
asking you, James, if your character's gay.
It's funny
And I don't mean that
you
in
say
strange, but
because
yeah.
I at times thought that I might like her character, and then I would get a new script. But I knew all along that he was kind of the talented Mr. Ripley, and the talented Mr. Ripley in that he would do anything to get to the top. So he was a master of kind of illusion, a master of making people feel comfortable and loved around him if it got him where he wanted. And that was a really cool character to play.
Yeah, and you play it perfectly, because you're like, yeah, he's a good guy. Wait a minute, is he conniving? No, he's a good guy. Wait a minute, I think he's conniving. I don't know. He's a nice guy. So you sort of play it perfectly. Before we let you go, James Wolk, our guest, he's in a new movie, Always Woodstock, opens up this weekend, and it's getting a lot of rave reviews. So go out and find it, Always Woodstock. You were in a Hallmark movie a couple years ago where you played a teacher with Tourette's syndrome, and we interviewed the original teacher who wrote the book, and then when we saw the Hallmark movie, I usually cry at Hallmark movies anyway, but your performance in that movie was fantastic.
Oh, man, thank you so much. Brad's a buddy of mine now, Brad Cohen.
Yeah. And he had Tourette's syndrome, and then he ended up winning Teacher of the Year, and now he's into all this teaching stuff. And you were, more unknown then than you are now, but it was just you played that teacher so well, and so we've been sort of watching you since then. So thank you for that.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having check that out. That means a lot.
You got it. James Wolk is the actor. He's in Always Woodstock. Opens up this weekend, and look for him on Mad Men whenever they decide to tell him it's coming back to AMC. James, be safe, and watch those short shorts around Jay Ferguson.
You got it. Thanks.
You got it. 8:29 here, Big 550.